Ranchers kept reporting strange lights, and then animals started turning up dead. A rancher walks through the cold darkness before sunrise. The valley is silent except for the wind moving through the fencing. Then the flashlight beam stops. One of the horses is lying motionless near the barn. At first, it looks like a normal death. Then he gets closer, and something feels wrong. No signs of struggle, no tracks leading in or out, and according to later reports, parts of the animal appeared strangely precise, almost surgical. By morning, rumors had already started spreading across southern Colorado, because this was not the first strange report coming out of the San Luis Valley. The San Luis Valley stretches across southern Colorado and northern New Mexico, a vast alpine basin surrounded by mountains, isolated ranchland, desert terrain, and some of the darkest skies in the United States. For decades, the region has developed a reputation as one of America's most persistent paranormal hotspots, not because of one single event, but because of the sheer number of reported incidents connected to the valley over time. UFO sightings, animal mutilation cases, shadow figure encounters, strange lights, electrical disturbances, disappearances, and claims that something unusual was repeatedly returning to the same remote areas of the valley. One of the earliest and most famous incidents involved a horse later known publicly as Snippy. In September 1967, the horse's owner, Lady and Harry King, discovered the animal near Alamosa, Colorado. According to reports at the time, tissue around the head and neck area appeared removed under unusual circumstances. Witnesses also claimed there was little visible blood at the scene. The incident quickly attracted national attention. Newspapers across America covered the case. UFO researchers arrived in the valley, and almost immediately, theories began dividing into two camps. Some investigators believed the case likely had ordinary explanations involving scavengers, decomposition, environmental exposure, or human interference after death. Others argued the condition of the animal, combined with a lack of clear tracks and the unusual appearance of the wounds, did not resemble a normal predator attack. No universally accepted explanation was ever reached, but the story did not end there. Throughout the 1970s and into the following decades, ranchers across Colorado and nearby states continued reporting alleged cattle mutilation incidents. Many reports described animals found in isolated areas with unusual wounds or missing tissue. Some witnesses claimed scavengers avoided the carcasses. Others described chemical smells, strange lights, or unidentified aircraft seen near ranches shortly before discoveries were made. Law enforcement agencies, veterinarians, independent investigators, and federal authorities all became involved in different cases over the years. The FBI even created files connected to mutilation reports during the 1970s, after growing public concern across western states. But despite investigations, explanations remain deeply disputed. Some officials concluded many cases could be explained through natural decomposition, scavenger activity, or exaggerated reporting. Others insisted at least some incidents appeared inconsistent with known predator behavior. And then, there were the lights. Witnesses throughout the San Luis Valley reported glowing aerial objects moving silently across the mountains and valley floor. Some described distant white or orange lights hovering motionless before suddenly accelerating. Others claimed formations moved in ways they believed conventional aircraft could not. Certain reports described objects appearing low over ranchland late at night before vanishing into the mountains. Not every sighting was mysterious. Some likely involved aircraft, satellites, atmospheric effects, or misidentifications, but the consistency of the stories over decades kept the mystery alive. And according to some residents, the strangest encounters were happening on the ground. People reported dark humanoid figures standing near fence lines, appearing beside roads, or watching from the edges of fields before disappearing into darkness. Descriptions varied widely. Some witnesses described tall silhouettes with unnatural movement. Others believe fear and isolation may have influenced what people thought they saw. Again, no definitive explanation was ever proven, but the reports continued. One of the researchers most closely associated with the San Luis Valley mystery is Christopher O'Brien. O'Brien spent years documenting reports throughout the region and later published extensive material about the phenomena connected to the valley. According to O'Brien, he investigated hundreds and later claimed over 1,000 reports involving UFO sightings, mutilation cases, paranormal claims, strange environmental effects, and unexplained encounters. His work helped bring wider attention to the valley during the 1990s and early 2000s. Supporters viewed his research as one of the most comprehensive collections of witness testimony connected to the region. Critics argued many reports relied heavily on anecdotal evidence, unverifiable claims, or stories that became amplified over time through media attention and paranormal culture. Even so, O'Brien maintained that the sheer volume and consistency of reports made the valley impossible to dismiss entirely. And perhaps that's what continues to unsettle people about this place. Not one single event, not one single witness, but layer after layer of stories accumulating across decades. Ranchers, police officers, travelers, investigators, locals, tourists, people who believed, people who doubted, and people who walked away unsure what they had actually experienced, because the San Luis Valley mystery was never simply about UFOs. It was about isolation, about silence, about discovering something in the darkness that didn't feel right, about people staring into empty skies night after night, waiting for something to return. And maybe that's why the valley still holds its reputation today, because despite all the theories, all the investigations, and all the skepticism, no one has ever fully explained why so many strange reports kept emerging from the same remote stretch of land beneath those mountains. So after decades of sightings, mutilation reports, shadow encounters, and unanswered investigations, what exactly was happening in the San Luis Valley